Hello, everyone. Welcome back. We are live. Awesome. So I have few Q&A questions that I have listed here. It's a lot. So I'm going to be answering them. We will answer as many as we can. Once I'm tired, I will end it. But basically, this is more about why people act the way they do act. Let me see if I can see this without using my glasses. Okay, all right, good. I think I'll be able to see it. So the first question I have here is, why does my partner shut down every time I have to talk about my feeling? Why does my partner shut down every time I try to talk about my feelings? I remember telling us this sometimes ago. It's not really about what you say, it's about how you say it. And it's about the fact that does this other person have the capacity? When people are not emotionally mature, when people don't have the emotional capacity to understand what you're saying, no matter what you say, no matter how you say it, they are going to shut down. And shutting down is actually a response to truth. So obviously, they were seeing what you were saying not as you saying things the way you feel, but they were seeing it as a threat. So every time you are trying to express your feeling, there's a need for you to do this. First, tell them ahead that you want to talk about how you are feeling so that they can actually prepare. An average person who is emotionally mature can always cushion whatever you say at any time. But if they are not that mature, trust me, they will not be able to handle whatever you say at one time or the other. So the best thing for you is to tell them ahead. And when you are saying it, I've always taught us this non-violent communication. So whatever you are going to say, appreciate what they've done in the past that is good. Two, tell them how you feel and point the direction to yourself. Now, after you have said that, the next thing you want to do is tell them your expectation. Sometimes we just nag. We don't tell people about our expectation. You have to tell them your expectation. And obviously, your expectation is not for them to shut down. Your expectation is for them to give you an answer. It might not be an answer they will give you immediately. They might not have the capacity to give you that answer immediately, but tell them what your expectation is and tell them how happy you will be. Sometimes this style will not work for bad people. When I say bad people, I mean bad people. This will only work for good people. Good people is not necessarily a born again Christian. Some people are Christians and they are very bad, and some people are not Christians and they are not bad. And either ways, make sure that you are dealing with somebody with a good heart. When people have a good heart, it's easier for them to listen to you. It's easier for them to understand how you are feeling. Remember, use that style to express your feeling. The next question: is it disrespectful to walk away during an argument? Is it whether it's disrespectful to walk away during an argument depends on how you walk away. I I don't like arguing in the first place anyway because it exhausts my energy, so I hate it. Um I'm used to saying okay, not because I'm okay with whatever that is happening. So that means I emotionally check out. I checked out already in my mind. I walked away in my mind. So sometimes people don't physically walk away, but they just check out in their mind. So, okay. So, especially if it's on the phone, it's easier to emotionally detach or check out when someone is saying things that aggravate you. However, is it whether it's disrespectful when you walk away is how you walk away. For example, if someone is saying things that aggravate you, all you have to say is, can we have a timeout? Just like children. When children do something wrong, you give them a timeout, right? So give yourself a timeout. Give yourself emotional timeout as couples, as friends, in relationship, even your subordinates, your boss, the people lower to you in CADA, in whatever you are doing, learn to give people the space, the opportunity for them to go back to the baseline. When they go back to the you should, one of the things I need you to check out for is, if someone is constantly arguing with you or aggravating you, that is probably their baseline. That is, something is really wrong with them. They probably need to be in therapy to solve that, so that they don't keep stressing your life out. Life is to be enjoyed. It's not to be endured for something you can actually avoid. So when there's an argument, it's not wrong to say, let's go, and relax for now, and then we'll talk about it when things are okay. When is disrespectful is when you do something like this and then you leave the room. That is when it's disrespectful. So I hope you get what disrespectful mean now. Okay. All right, let's go to the next one. Uh, okay, my screen is angry. Okay. All right. So the next one is, why do men say nothing is wrong when something is clearly wrong? Why do men say nothing is wrong when it's actually obvious that something is clearly wrong? The reason why men say, and I should have asked my husband to answer this question for us, but as a therapist, as a mental health professional, I will say that men does not perceive things the way we perceive things. What women see as a big deal, for most men, because of the logic part of their being, they don't see those things as wrong. They waive things easily. However, and it's part of it is because they are not always, very emotional. So, and that you're not emotional does not mean you should not have emotional intelligence. A lot of men are not emotional, but they have emotional intelligence. So if somebody does not have emotional intelligence, you're going to have problem with them. So whether um, uh, they know something is wrong or something is not wrong, when you withdraw from somebody, they should ask you a question. But a lot of men don't ask questions, and that can be very, very annoying for a lot of women. So if something is wrong, and you see that this woman used to be very nice to you, welcome you, pick your call quickly, respond to your text quickly, and they don't do it anymore, ask them questions. Because when you don't do, you're not doing the right thing by them. You're not doing the right thing by them. You are not being intentional about keeping your relationship together. You're not being intentional about keeping your marriage together. You're not being intentional about making your marriage a success. So you have to be intentional about asking them questions. So what is wrong in asking questions? Nothing. Nothing is wrong in asking questions. You just don't want to ask because you are not interested in asking, and that is not okay. Right. So let's look at the next question. Are we arguing too much, or is this normal? Are we arguing too much, or is this normal? An average person argue in relationship, and the definition of this person's argument might be different from my definition of argument. So I might see something differently, my husband might see something differently. In DBT, dialectic behavioral therapy, what do we say? We say is 6 and 9, right? It's 9 and 6, depending on where you are standing. 9 might look like 6, six might look like nine, depending on wherever you are standing. Where you are standing will determine what you will see. So sometimes people are not all wrong and people are not all right. It depends on where you are standing. It depends on where you are standing. You're not really arguing too much. I tell you, it depends on how you see it. How did you see it? Does it feel right? You know, everyone has this gut feeling when things are not right in their relationship. Everyone has this feeling when things are not going well in their relationship. Everyone has it. So, what does your feeling tell you? What does your gut tell you? What does your mind tell you? Does it tell you that you are arguing too much? And after your argument, what really happens after your argument? Do you reconcile? I once taught us on this channel that when you have, an argument, a conversation that is hot, how did you end it? Did you end it by increasing the annoyance, or did you end it by settling things, or did you sweep it under the carpet? If you keep sweeping things under the carpet, it's going to hurt you, it's going to hurt your spouse. So it's very important for you to learn to have a serious conversation, have a serious communication, so that when you argue, couples argue, you see something on the TV. I've seen couples argue over things they see on the TV. I don't know how you do that. That's even always funny to me, because you saw something on the TV or in a movie. People argue over things in the movie. I don't know how you do that. But the truth is, if it's ending well, you're not arguing too much. But if it's not ending well, you are arguing too much. That would be the bottom line for me. The next question: why does he only listen after I get angry? Because he's used to it. It's part of his genetic makeup. An average man wants to do what is in their mind, what they want to do. You know, um, because they are man. It's just an ego. I won't say genetic makeup per se. I say it's the ego thing, it's the ego thing. They believe that you're not really supposed to talk to me like that. An average man, even their mom respect them. Where I came from in Nigeria, an average man, their mom respects them. That's why you see on the engagement day of their children, they will be singing all those songs. All those funny funny songs that the Alaga Duro and Alaga Ijoko, all of them were always singing. Because why? Women treat their boys like egg. I don't know. I don't know why they do that. They said so that their daughter-in-laws will not take their sons from them. I don't know. That's why I'm teaching us now. Hold on to your husband. Hold your own husband. Hold your own wife. So that you will not bother your children. So that you not make your children your husband. So that you not make your children your small wife. Please, let's take care of our home marriage. Let's take care of our own spouse and our own partner. The next question: is silent treatment emotional abuse or just space? For some people, silent treatment is emotional abuse. But for some people, it's space. But how long does it last? So if you are giving someone a silent treatment, you you are not going to help them, you are not going to talk to them, you're not going to have anything to do with them in that period, and that is an abuse. I've seen couples. I think we read about a couple who were fighting, and the wife was dying, and the husband was calling the husband, and the husband did not pick the call because they were fighting. And by the time he got to the room, the woman already stopped breathing. That is emotional abuse. That is wickedness. That is meanness. Space is simply when someone tries to give you a space, it's because they don't want the problem to persist. So they just want you to stop at that point. They just want to be able to, recover be able to think right so that they can give you the right answer. An average quietness in a marriage should not be more than 1 day if you are living in the same house. It should not be more than 1 day because why? Um, Even the Bible told us that we should not let the sun go down on our arguments. I learned this. This I'm going to say. I learned it from Joyce Myers. Mama Joyce once said something. She said, "Every silent treatment, every malice you keep with your spouse is a waste of life and waste of good time that you would have spent together. Think about it. Don't waste every minute. Life is too precious to be wasted on something that are not meaningful." How do I communicate without nagging? Communication is a skill and it has to be learned. Anything that is skill has to be learned. So there's a need for you to read lots of books on communication. But one thing has not changed. You have to be gracious. When you are gracious in your words, in your thoughts, in your disposition, there is no way the other person will see that you are wrong. So communicate with grace. Communicate with grace. One of the things that I've learned to do, if I ask you to help me do something, is because I've exhausted my energy. So if I ask you to do something for me, honestly, you must be ready to do it on time because it's because I've exhausted all the means of being able to do that thing by myself. So when you don't do it, I don't appreciate it and I'll keep quiet and I'll find another person to do it for me rather than nagging. I don't waste my energy, I don't waste my strength on things like that. So instead of nagging, you must learn to communicate. My quietness, my asking another person to do it for me is also a communication. So that next time the other person doesn't do it and I don't feel hurt. And one thing that I want all women to do is, you see, more men are more successful because they are more focused than women. But women are waking up also. And I want to tell you this, if you can learn to manage your emotion, if you can learn to not solely link your emotion, happiness, joy to the other person's, whatever they do for you or they did not do for you. If you can simply not hold on to that and, be yourself, enjoy yourself, you will nag less. So start learn to communicate without saying anything. Read books on communication, have conversation with that person, tell them what they are doing, in a way that they will understand. Everybody has a language that they understand. Learn to use that language that they understand. The next question: once is 30 minutes, I'm going to stop, or once I'm tired, because I need to have lunch. How many of you have had lunch? It's 4 o'clock and I've not had lunch. Past 4 now. Okay, so let's look at the next one. Why does she bring up the past in every argument? Because she has not healed of that past. She has not healed of that past. So instead of asking why she kept bringing the past, you should ask, how can I help her? Can I just stop doing what I'm doing wrong every time? Because if you keep doing the same thing she complained about or he complained about, I'm going to use both men and women do the same thing because human are human. So when you keep doing the same thing that she was complaining about, don't expect her not to bring the past. But at the same time, if I were to, tell you the truth, I will tell you that you need to heal of that past so that you can stop bringing it up. Seek therapy. How do you fight right in a relationship? How do you fight right in a relationship? You fight right in a relationship by fighting out of love. Whatever you are telling that person, let them know that it's for their own good. And you fight right by communicating, you fight right by seeking for help, professional help, not third party. If you think you cannot handle something that is bigger than you, seek professional help. Look for a trusted couple who are older, who could be able to help you on your journey in that marriage. Let's look at the next question. Yeah, we've done question 10. So let's do question 11. I think I'm going to stop on question 15 if I'm able to. Okay. How do I know if I'm actually ready for marriage or I'm just lonely? How do I know if I'm ready for marriage or I'm just lonely? Okay. Um this is very deep, and that this is one of the things that we teach at Family Life Builders Academy. We help you to prepare for marriage physically, excuse me, physically, emotionally, spiritually, financially. Those are the four basic aspects that we help you to prepare for marriage. And why do we really have to prepare for marriage? Everybody goes to school to become a professional. You know, you go to school to have a career. But why do you want to go into marriage without learning the skills that will uphold your marriage? So, this is very important. So, if you want to know that you are ready for marriage, you should be able to test yourself in those four capacity. Physically, am I ready for marriage? If you as a man, if you have erectile dysfunction, you're not physically ready for marriage. You need to treat and take care of that before you should get into marriage. If you're a woman, you have challenges with your reproductive organ, and if the other person, if being able to have children is very important for them, you have to sort that. These days, there are several other ways by which you can have children. You can adopt, you can get a surrogate mom, you can do so many things. It's your body. You can do so many things that you want, but you have to be intentional about it. You have to really be intentional about it. Get ready for marriage physically. Your space where you are living, how does it look like? If your house is always rough, you're not physically ready for marriage, because it will be rougher by the time you get married. If you are going through anything that makes your house to be physically unpresentable, you have to learn how to take care of that. Physically, you have to be ready. Emotionally, if you have a trauma, you've been through something in your past and it's still coming up, it kept coming up for you in other areas of your life, it affects your daily living, it affects you not being able to have relationship. But then you really want somebody, but your past is cutting people off from you, then you have to seek help. Emotionally, be ready. For marriage, if you don't have a source of income, I tell you, money destroy marriage faster than infidelity. I've seen women that doesn't leave their marriage because of money. I've seen men also that did not leave their marriage because of so many things. So money destroys marriage faster than men. Cherish respect. So if you can't provide for your spouse, it's going to take grace for that person not to disrespect you if you cannot provide. So make sure you are physically ready for marriage. Spiritually, you're a man, you're a woman, you cannot cover your family, you cannot pray for them, you cannot pray for yourself. When you are pregnant, how are you going to be able to pray? How are you going to be able to stand up to the wiles of the enemy? The enemy does not want marriage to stand. We have seen it. It's happening all over, all the internet. Things are changing. People are bitter. People come out here and say something negative for you to believe their side of the story. People say things. So you have to be really sure that you are ready spiritually for marriage. So when those four are in place, you are really ready for marriage. You are really ready for marriage. But if those four are not in place, spiritual readiness, physical readiness, financial readiness, emotional readiness, living with a woman or a man requires a lot of emotional intelligence. So if you are not ready for those, please don't get married. If those things are not in place, you're just lonely, you just want to get married, and it's not going to work. You are going to be single even while you are married. The next question: can love alone sustain a marriage? No, love alone cannot sustain a marriage. We court for 9 years and we've been married for 15 years now. So I've known my husband for a while. And I want to say it specifically that what kept my marriage is not love, is friendship. We started as friends, and that friendship is what keeps us. So even when he pissed me off, even when I pissed him off, what kept us together is that friendship. The Bible says the friend loveth at all times. So we love our friends at all times, no matter what, right? When they do something for us that we are not happy with, we confront them about it. So friendship, I will say, keep your marriage longer than love itself. Love is part of the journey, and I want to say that we have to define love. What kind of love are we talking about? Is it the brotherly love that we are talking about? Is it the agape love that we are talking about? The only love that I know that sustain marriage properly is the unconditional love. That's agape love. The love that says, okay, in spite of who they are, in spite of what they are, I will love them. That is what actually sustains marriage. And that is actually embedded in friendship. And we saw that with God. God loves people. When you are describing agape love, you are describing God. You are describing God's kind of love. And when you are describing God kind of love, you will know that God kind of love is a relationship based love. Let me know what you think in the comment section. What kind of love have you experienced? What kind of love do you have in your own relationship right now? Put it in the comment section and I'll read it out for you. Okay. So, what are the signs someone is not ready for marriage? Well, just like I said, the opposite. The sign that you are not ready for marriage is when those four are not in place: emotional readiness, financial readiness, physical readiness, spiritual readiness. If those things are not in place, please don't get married. You are not ready. Let me take the last question. It's almost 30 minutes. Let me take the last one. So, should I wait for him to be financially stable before saying yes? Waiting for him to be financially stable before saying yes depends absolutely on you. Why did I say that? What matters to you? If money is important to you, yes, wait for him till he's financially ready. If money is not important to you, if you have your own source of income, not your parents' source of income, not your uncle's source of income, not your brothers or your auntie in abroad source of income, you have your own source of income, and you know he's doing some things, but it's just that things has not really aligned for him, then wait till you get things right. But if you know that you have more than enough to feed three people, because when you are getting married, you should know that people will visit you. You should know that you will have children. So if you cannot conveniently feed three people or four, please don't get married. Wait for him to really be ready. People do these things. People have some of these challenges because they are not really prepared for marriage. I hope this helps somebody. God bless you. I'm going to have lunch and I'll see you in the next one. Bye. Yo.